The Facebook ping hit while I was reviewing Q3 numbers. I almost ignored it until the preview read, "Finally blocked my toxic little sister." My chest went cold. I'm Ivy, CEO of Nova Meridian, and yesterday I quietly greenlit a marketing director offer for my sister, Brooke. I opened the post, 3 smug paragraphs. Family is healthier without her. Then the gut punch. She's dead weight. Tell me, if you were me, do you clap back or cut the cord? I didn't argue. I made one call. Harper, resend the email. Position eliminated. Cruel or survival? Here's the part nobody sees. Being the family joke until they need you. Being the failure who built the company they begged to join. What would you have done? Honestly, drop your take in the comments. If this hit a nerve, subscribe, because this story only gets messier from here. The Facebook ping landed while I was skimming Q3 revenue on my second monitor, coffee going cold beside the keyboard. I almost swiped it away until the preview line sliced through me. Finally blocked my toxic little sister. My toxic little sister. I felt something in my chest fold in on itself, the way aluminum cans crumple under a heel. I'm Ivy. Yes, that Ivy, the CEO of Nova Meridian, the failure in my family who apparently needed a real job. And yesterday, I'd quietly signed off on a marketing director offer for my sister, Brooke. Equity options, benefits dialed in, a salary that would have been a trampoline for her career. She didn't know it came from me. She didn't know I owned the company. That was the point. I clicked open the post. 3 easy breathing paragraphs like a polished knife. Family is healthier without some people. You can't carry dead weight forever. Sometimes love looks like block. Then, the knockout. I finally blocked my toxic little sister. If you were me, would you clap back in the comments? Would you call, beg for basic respect, or would you do what I did? Go quiet, go still, feel the ache, and make one surgical call. Harper, I said to our HR director, voice steady while my hands trembled under the desk, resend the email. The position is eliminated, budget restructuring. I know, say it. Cruel, petty, CEO power trip. But tell me this, when someone burns the bridge and then dances on the ashes, are you obligated to rebuild it at your own expense? Within an hour, the post lit up. Thumbs, hearts, clapping hands. 43 likes became a flood. 17 supportive comments turned into a chorus. My cousin, this is why you were right to cut her off. Bad energy ruins jobs, even from a distance. A mutual friend chimed in. Protect your peace, parasites adjust. Parasites, I refreshed again. Each time my screen felt heavier, like it wanted to drop out of the stand and shatter. Ever had your life reduced to a villain of the week storyline by people who never once sat in your late night war rooms, never once saw the invoices you negotiated, the payroll you protected, the investors you tamed? Here's the quiet part. I could hear my mother's voice in my head, the way she'd say it when she thought I couldn't hear. Ivy just plays on computers. Around 3 p.m., the ripple hit home. My mom called, words soft but loaded. Honey, I saw Brooke's post. She's hurting. Maybe your energy is setting her back. You know how the universe works. I stared at the skyline and counted my breaths because if I didn't, I'd say the kind of thing you can't unsay. Mom, I asked, if I'm so toxic, why does my support matter? Silence, then the old line. Family is more important than social media drama. Isn't it funny how cruelty becomes just drama when it comes from your favorite? By 5 p.m., Brooke texted from the same number that supposedly blocked me. I know we're not talking, but I need to vent. The job I was starting Monday, eliminated. Can you call? That's the punchline, right? I typed back, I thought you blocked me because I'm toxic. Her reply, that was Facebook. This is real life. My hands shook. I took a screenshot of her DM and her post side by side, the hypocrisy almost beautiful in its symmetry. So when you needed applause, I was garbage. When you need comfort, I'm your sister. Her answer, you're being too sensitive. It's just social media. Just social media. Say that out loud. Taste the metallic aftertaste it leaves behind. I blocked the number, not as revenge, but as first aid. Then I did the only thing I know how to do when the ground moves under me. I went back to the work that keeps people employed. That night, while the office lights burned low, I rechecked cash forecasts, nudged a vendor contract, approved a new UI sprint. The ordinary heroism of staying the course. The next morning, Brooke posted again, this time the devout lament, job rescinded, universe testing her, send prayers. The same people who called me dead weight now offered her sympathy like confetti, and some implied I was secretly cursing her timeline from my dark cloud. If you were watching this as a YouTube short, you'd be furious, right? You'd be typing, how do people treat their own like this? If this hits a nerve, like and share because you know someone who's living this exact episode, drop a comment. Would you have made the same call to HR, or would you have swallowed the hurt and let her start Monday? Here's the final sting of the first act. I didn't rescind her offer because she called me names. I rescinded it because she declared in writing that the world was better without me. Even not knowing I was her boss, she broadcasted the belief that certain people deserve to be erased. Tell me, how do you put a team under that voice? How do you entrust culture to someone who thinks cruelty is content? That's the moment the crisis stopped being about family and became about leadership. And if that makes you angry for me, double tap this story. We're only at the first cliff. 2 days later, I asked Brooke to talk. Not a public spectacle, not a comment war, just two voices on a line. We started with small words because big words were too sharp. She exhaled like she'd been holding her breath for years. Ivy, I'm sorry about the post. I was stressed. I didn't mean you personally. I could have let it slide. I could have let the lie hold. Instead, I asked, who did you mean by toxic little sister? She went quiet. Look, I felt invisible. Everyone worries about you because you haven't found a real job, and I'm over here doing everything right. There it was, the quiet core of the storm. Not hatred exactly. Resentment dressed as righteousness. I told her I had something to share. The job you were offered, the marketing director role at Nova Meridian, do you know who signed off? She laughed. Some hotshot CEO. I stalked their LinkedIn. Total prodigy, I swallowed. That was me. You know the sound when a glass tips but doesn't shatter, just spins and spins on the table. That's the sound her silence made. What? She whispered. I'm the CEO. I founded Nova Meridian 3 years ago. I signed your offer. She tried to make it make sense using old facts that had expired. But you live in that tiny apartment. I choose to reinvest in the company and the freelance websites. Were the seed money? You're serious? Completely. Shock turned to pleading, then to anger's echo. Why didn't you tell us? I shrugged at a person who couldn't see me. I did. You just never asked the kind of questions that had room for the truth. You liked the version where I was a cautionary tale. She started crying, and I braced for the statement that always arrives dressed as a question. Can we fix the offer? I heard it anyway. Please, I'll apologize publicly and privately. I'll do better. I wanted to say yes. God, I wanted to say yes. But here's the thing about leadership. Your first loyalty is to the people depending on you, not the people defining your worth by rumor. I can't hire a senior leader who publicly declared the world is better without me, I said, even if you didn't know I was me. She hit back with the line meant to absolve her. It was just Facebook. I took a breath and steadied my voice. Respect isn't a filter you turn off when it's inconvenient. If you're cruel when you think someone's powerless, you're cruel. She went quiet again. Then the sentence that cracked me in half, I didn't know you mattered. I don't think she realized she said it out loud. It wasn't the words. Words are symptoms. It was the confession behind them. I didn't matter because to her, I wasn't useful. That's the collision point. Her values, my values, smashing into sparks. I explained what rescinding the offer truly meant. It wasn't punishment. It was risk management. If you'll post that about me when you think I'm the weak sister, what would you post about a junior analyst who makes a mistake? Or a vendor who needs extra time? Or a barista who spells your name wrong? You could hear her realize the picture was bigger than two sisters. She whispered, I don't know. I said, and that's the problem. Then I told her something I had planned to keep secret forever. I was the anonymous recommender who put her resume on top of the pile. You competed with 47 candidates. You won it. I wanted you to win it. She made a painful shock sound. So you wanted me there, but you pulled it back. My voice frayed. I wanted the version of you who didn't need someone's resume to respect them. Here's the part that'll make some of you mad at me, and feel free to comment. I can take it. I didn't offer a compromise. I didn't say, let's try a probation. I didn't build an escape hatch. I set a boundary and stood inside it. Because the truth is, culture breaks quietly, and it's always the leader's fault. If I'd hired her anyway, my team would have learned the wrong lesson. That loyalty is negotiable if the offender is family. She asked me what she could do to change this. I told her she couldn't change the past decision, but she could change the pattern that created it. Start with people you think have nothing to give you, I said. Practice respect when there's no reward. She didn't argue, she didn't bargain, she just said, okay. And for the first time in years, I believe she meant it. If you're watching this and you've ever been the invisible sibling, press like. If you've ever had to choose culture over comfort, drop a comment. What did it cost you? Share this with the one person who needs to hear that leadership without boundaries is just people-pleasing in a suit. We're not done. The reveal wasn't the ending. It was the decision point. And after a decision, you either double down on who you are or you become the apology you post. Change didn't arrive with balloons. It arrived like morning light, gradual, unglamorous, undeniable. A day after our call, Brooke posted a new message that didn't read like PR. It read like a mirror. No euphemisms, no if anyone was offended. She wrote, I was wrong. I aimed my insecurity at someone who didn't deserve it. I confused attention for accountability. I'm sorry. I read it twice. My hand still shook, but it wasn't anger this time. It was the kind of shaking that happens when a muscle wakes up after being numb. Too long. Then she did something that mattered more than words. She started volunteering at a local nonprofit that helps professionals who've been laid off rewrite resumes, rehearse interviews, practice telling the truth about gaps without shame. She texted me updates, not to perform but to report. Met a project manager who's been applying for 7 months, she wrote. I kept wanting to say, just network harder. And then I remembered how easy it is to give advice you've never had to use. She sounded smaller in a good way, like someone who'd taken off their armor and realized how heavy it had been. We talked every few days, slowly at first, logistics, then stories, then the edges of the real stuff. She confessed moments that made me wince because they were honest. I told a barista once she should aim for realistic goals when she said she wanted to write, Brooke admitted. I heard my own voice in that Facebook post. I didn't gloat. I just said, man, that's the thing about contempt. It always leaks. She laughed, brittle and bright at once. Ouch, she said, but yeah. I gave her no shortcuts back into my company. I gave her something harder, the dignity of consequences. You and I can rebuild, I told her, but Nova Meridian isn't part of that bridge. She didn't argue. She went and found a role at a smaller firm, lower pay but higher learning, and every time she wanted to text me, can you make a call? She texted, I did the hard thing today instead. You can say it with me, growth is obnoxiously uncinematic. But for the first time in years, I felt proud of her for something that had nothing to do with me. Then came the conversation with our parents, the one I'd been avoiding. You know that knot you carry at the base of your throat? The one that tightens when your past and your present finally catch each other? We sat them down on a Sunday afternoon, living room bright and too tidy. My dad said, what's the big news? That like he always does when he wants to turn tension into a joke. I told them about Nova Meridian, about revenue, about head count, about nights I slept on the office couch because payroll mattered more than comfort. My mom cried, then got mad, then cried because she was mad at herself for being mad. Why didn't you tell us? She asked. And this time I answered without flinching, because I needed to know if you love me without the resume. The words shook coming out, but they landed. My parents looked at each other and learned something about themselves I couldn't have taught them any other way. Brooke took her turn. I attacked Ivy online because I needed a villain, she told them. I was jealous that you worried about her, and I mistook your worry for proof that she was failing. I was wrong. She didn't add but. She didn't add anything that would soften the humility. And I watched my mother, who is not fluent in apology, whisper, we should have asked more questions. Like the words hurt her teeth and healed her at once. Are you angry for me right now? Or are you relieved it didn't end in a tidy reconciliation montage with acoustic guitar? Hit like if you've ever had to teach people how to love you by walking away first. Drop a comment if you've rebuilt something you thought was rubble. Share this with the friend who's swallowing hurt, so a group chat won't feel awkward. 2 months later, Brooke and I had lunch near my office. No big speech, just napkins and sunshine, and a conversation that didn't require translators. "Do you regret not telling us sooner?" she asked. I told her the truth. "Sometimes, but I learned what I needed to learn." She nodded. "I learned I respected success more than people. I'm trying to flip that." I smiled because that is the sentence I didn't know I needed to hear. Here's the coda that surprised me. My parents changed. Not overnight, not dramatically, but change happened. Fewer lectures, more questions, less managing, more witnessing. They stopped introducing me as our daughter who's figuring things out and started introducing me as our daughter who built something. And when I challenged them, "Are you proud of me or my success?" They said, "Yeah, both, but we're learning to separate them." Will Brooke ever work at Nova Meridian? No, not because I'm punishing her. Because the lesson isn't fail up through family. The lesson is that respect isn't a coupon you redeem when you find out someone is powerful. It's a daily practice for when you think they aren't. So here we are, no heroes, no villains, just people who did harm and then did work. If this story made you furious, good. Fury means your compass is alive. If it made you hopeful, even better. Hope is proof that repair is possible. Tap like if you felt seen. Comment the line that hit you hardest. Share this with the one person who needs a boundary more than a second chance. And remember the line I tell myself when I'm tempted to shrink to keep the peace. Sometimes the only way to save a relationship is to risk losing it. Here's where I landed. I didn't rescind Brooke's offer to win a power game. I did it to protect a culture I'm responsible for. Still, I keep replaying the moment, the ping, the post, the call to HR, and I ask myself, am I in the wrong? Maybe I was too firm. Maybe I waited too long to tell my family who I really am. But here's the truth I can live with. Boundaries aren't revenge. They're first aid. Respect shouldn't switch on only after someone looks useful. If it does, that's not respect. It's opportunism dressed as concern. What I learned about me, and I won't shrink to be loved. I'll tell the truth sooner, even if it shakes the room. And I'll keep choosing people who treat baristas, interns, and nobodies like somebodies, because that's the only kind of team I want to build. If you were in my chair, what would you have done differently? Be honest in the comments. If this hit a nerve, tap like. Share it with someone who needs a boundary and subscribe so you don't miss what happens next. I'm Ivy. I build things. I protect them. And I'm learning how to be brave without being cruel.